Heartstopper has been an incredible learning curve for me. Really awesome thing to see it grow.
I love the story of Nick and Charlie. I love the story of Heartstopper, and I will be very, very sad to say goodbye.
Getting to see the ending of their story as a fan is just so satisfying.
It's gonna be weird when it's over, and also like say goodbye to these characters, and this is such a big part of our lives.
Hi, I'm Kit Connor.
And I'm Joe Locke.
Come join us on a day of shooting the final chapter of Heartstopper.
Yay!
What is today's date?
Today's date?
Oh God, I've got no idea.
I don't know. Oh, that is a hard question. You put me on the spot.
Scooby Doo, I don't even know what month it is.
Today's date is the...
Today's date might be the 21st?
It's the 21st of July.
The 21st of July.
21st of July, 2025.
This is week 7, day 29 of 35 today. Is that right?
Is it?
Well, we're doing a 6-day weekend with 35 shoot days, so this would be 30 of 35.
He's the math guy, so I let him do that stuff.
I know it's day 31, so that's all I go on.
I stuck got it wrong, Sam had to correct me.
We are sort of over 3/4 of the way through the shoot. We've shot for 6 weeks and we have 1 week to go. Today we're filming scenes at Nick's house, really focusing on Sarah's 50th birthday party, looking back into memories that are coming up for Nick about his childhood.
Oh my God, you were so cute.
Were? I'm not cute anymore.
Yeah, not as cute as this. I mean, I protect him with my life.
Yeah. Right, I should go and say hi to some people.
Okay, let me go to Lou and I'll come find you.
Okay. A lot of the things in their life are kind of changing. Nick is on the brink of leaving and kind of going to uni and like finishing school. Charlie is really hitting his stride and he's head boy now and he's kind of achieving what he never thought he'd be able to. And they're both kind of trying to adjust to those changes, starting to worry as to whether or not those changes are going to affect their relationship.
When I first met Alice, I was just a fan walking into the room and being like, let's make this TV series of this amazing graphic novel that you've done. We then went on this journey where she became a screenwriter and she wrote all of season 1. And now she's like fully fledged. She's exec producing. She's doing the whole thing, show running. It's a massive journey.
Heartstopper has always, in my mind, it's approached trying to capture authentic teenage experiences. And we've always looked at dark themes and things like Charlie's anorexia and bullying and homophobia. We are trying to continue on those ideas into the film. These things don't just wrap up neatly in a little bow at the end of each season and then are totally forgotten. Particularly, Charlie experiencing mental illness, that's something that he will probably always carry with him in some way. That's just real life, and that's what I've always set out to try and capture.
This is my first job, and so I often say that Kit really is like my acting teacher. He's an old pro, and so he's everything I know I've learned from Kit, basically.
Me and Patty LaPone.
Yeah, you and Patty LaPone.
Yeah.
Worst people to learn from.
Heartstopper has been an incredible learning curve for me. Played some of my favourite scenes I've ever played with Joe. Our big breakup scene we shot like a week ago. I was kind of nervous about because I think it's just a really big scene, and I think one of the things that I enjoyed the most in that scene was being off camera, getting to see Joe's range. We tried it a couple different ways and we're trying to bounce off each other and just stay really, really present. I feel like I learned a lot from doing that scene and from watching Joe do it.
While we've been making this film, I've been working on Volume 6 at the same time, which has never happened before. I'd always had the book finished before we started. I had actually already written Volume 6, but I just hadn't drawn it. The biggest change this film has done to the graphic novel is the final third. The ending itself hasn't changed. That's kind of been the same. Because of the limited amount of resources and time and space we have to make a film, that encourages me to really pinpoint what is important and essential in the story.
It's a really interesting challenge. How do you develop Heartstopper, an episodic TV show, into a movie? It has to kind of grow into a more cinematic entity. That's what I've really been doing in terms of the camera, in terms of the shots. And really in a film, I think you get more time to dive deep into an actor's performance. I've been working a lot, especially with Kit and Joe, to get to greater psychological depths in their performance.
I think he's been great in like trusting leaving us with the characters. I think like he's aware as much as we are that we like know these characters so well now.
Definitely takes our opinion and takes our suggestions for the characters very seriously, which is nice.
I'm just so excited because I'm first and foremost like a massive fan of Heartstopper and I love these characters. Getting to see the ending of their story, we want to have the completeness out there and we want it to be something that people go back and watch again and again. Every time we've come to a new season or this film, we've wanted to challenge ourselves to do things that we've not done before. So the film is going to feel very developed in terms of maturity. So the characters themselves are growing, and with that, we've kind of modulated some of the elements of the story so that it feels a bit more adult, a bit more mature. Nick and Charlie are teenagers and they're looking forward to the rest of their lives.
I loved the beginning of the shoot because we were in Bray Studios. We made our days perfectly in time. Everyone was happy. I was going to the gym after work. It was amazing. Now we're in the chaos of location shooting. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where you're going to be. But from location, you also get this spontaneity because you have to respond to what's there. You have to respond to what's happening around you. There's 1,000 things that can go wrong at any moment. So location is always more stressful.
What is the biggest challenge with filming on location?
Planes.
Planes.
This is what filming Heartstopper is like.
Yeah.
It's filmed right next to Heathrow.
It's clouds and planes.
You got a
For plane? Yeah. Oh, it's just like making a film.
We're on location at Nick's house, which is great and looks amazing on screen, but it's quite a small location.
There's a lot of people involved in a small space.
Very small space.
That's always difficult.
We shot a week of party scenes.
Yeah.
Every day was a different party, which was
Is
interesting.
difficult. Yeah, and especially Wash is very much in the details. He really focuses a lot on very small, minute details. And when you've got a lot of people in the room, those details have got to be right.
We're doing a lovely little scene in a minute with myself and Kit, where I think they get to kind of, in some way, connect in their own way, I think. At least that's how I view it.
I thought Dad was your hero.
Heroes and villains. It's the way your brain works, isn't it?
We had a lot of discussions about whether Nick and David should have a sort of reconciliation, whether David should have any level of redemption as a character.
I felt like there was a lot of possibility for a lot of nuance. The effects of Nick's relationship with his father, I felt like that also inherently touched on the relationship with his brother because his brother was raised in the same household by the same parents and came out incredibly differently. It reflects in the script now. I think you see a little bit more light and dark in David.
As siblings, you know, my personal view of it is that no matter how bad things get or how much difficulties you have between you, deep down there's always a knowledge that they are a sibling and there's a deep desire somewhere to connect, and therefore you see Nick kind of maybe reaching out a little bit, trying to understand David a little bit, and then it's kind of misunderstood and they come to blows a little bit, but there's just maybe what's going wrong for David and for Nick for being unable to connect.
I ultimately felt that there is a new sort of connection between them, but they're never going to be best friends. It's a more complex and real situation if David doesn't completely come around and him and Nick don't 100% heal their relationship. I get lots of messages from fans about how it's helped people come out, figure out who they are, find friends, find a community, and I feel really grateful and proud to have been part of that.
I've had conversations with people, with parents of younger kids, teenagers, who've said they've watched the show with them and their child has been able to say, hey, I'm like someone in the show, and kind of come out to them in that way. And that is the ultimate validation of the representation that is in Heartstopper.
It's never forceful, it's never done in any way to be representation, it's just what the show is, which I think is therefore like the most like positive representation because it's not in any way like shaped to be that. They're just the characters, and I hope that like going forward in the industry that can become the norm. Like we don't have representation for representation's sake, we have representation because we are telling these people's stories.
I would hope is that it helped young people find themselves or feel more confident about who they are and believe that they can find that Heartstopper joy that is the core essence of what Heartstopper is. The love and the friendship and the hope and the optimism. Everyone deserves to feel that about themselves and about their futures.
I think Charlie has a real strong sense of what is wrong and right.
I mean, Nick's just an incredibly loving person. He gives his everything when it comes to the people that he cares about, and I think that that's a rather beautiful quality.
I really feel that it's time for it to come to a close. I think the story will have said all that it needed to say. I want to end the story on that positive, joyful, uplifting note. I think it will be a really satisfying, beautiful ending for everyone, but it won't tell us everything about what's to come for Nick and Charlie in the future.